This is Tisha Perry with Giving Group Realty. I'm here today with Jerry Martinson at Union Home Mortgage. Have you ever thought it wasn't possible for someone to steal your home? Well, think again. Jerry has some good pointers for us and a way that we can definitely make sure that that gets tracked and stopped. Jerry, tell us a little bit about the history of that.
Yeah, of course. Hi, Tisha, and thanks for having me on today. So happy to share a little bit about it. So house stealing is a term that was quoted by the FBI. It's not a new situation, so it's been going on for a long time. Back in 2004, 2005, 2006, it became much more common just because it was so easy back then to get certain types of loans. You could get a stated income loan. There wasn't a lot of verifications done. It was a very loose time in the mortgage business where it was much easier to steal a house back then than today. And most people, they wouldn't think that house stealing would even be possible. I mean, it's on a foundation, it's got a driveway. I mean, what are you going to do with it? You're going to come and take it in the middle of the night? But they take it on paper. And so there's companies out there like Home Title Lock, for example, that offer a service, and they have a spokesperson. His name's Matthew Cox, who is their poster child for this, because Matthew Cox, back in 2005 through 2008, did house stealing a lot. He went on the run from the FBI and the police from Florida back in 2005, I believe, and he did this very simply, where he would rent somebody's home, move into it. He would file a satisfaction of mortgage to show their mortgage was paid off by getting a one-page form, putting the public record information on there, getting a fake notary stamp and stamping it, and took it down to the county office and filed it. And then he would walk in the next day with a quitclaim deed, transferring the deed from the previous owner to him. Again, a different notary stamp that was fake, where he would just fake the signatures and file it, and they would take it and they would put the property into his name. And then he would apply with 3 or 4 or 5 different mortgage companies to take out maybe 40 or 50% of the value, so it looked like it was a low risk to everyone. He would take out multiple loans at the same time, and then he would walk away from the property. And It happened over and over again, where in a lot of cases, he would pay the first month's rent and then nobody would ever hear from him again. And he did it all across the southeastern states in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Florida. It was a very common thing. And since then, he did go to jail. He's out of jail now, and he's the spokesperson for Home Title Lock. And Home Title Lock advertises that they can help watch the title to the property. So if someone like Matthew Cox tried to file a satisfaction of mortgage, a quitclaim deed, something like that, then you would be able to get a notification of that and at least know that it's happening way in advance and try to stop it before there were loans or liens on it or something like that.
So I assume that's a fee then to hire this company to do it.
Yes, they do charge a monthly fee to be able to monitor your title to your property. And there are some areas like Clark County, Washington, for example, where Clark County actually offers through their website a free service that also watches for anything new being attached to the property and can notify you to be able to let you know that it's on there. But not all counties have that. For example, Cowlitz County doesn't have it. Multnomah County doesn't have it. Not that they won't get it at some point, but there's a lot of counties that are kind of behind the times with that, where it's a very simple process from my standpoint for them to add that in. But most of them have not. And so, checking the title online, or contacting the county, that's always been something that you could do as a homeowner, or you could have this service to be able to do it for you. Even if you don't have a lot of equity in the property, if you owe a lot on the property, if they file a satisfaction of mortgage, then it makes it look like you don't owe anything on the property. So it doesn't really matter how much equity you have, other than the more equity you have, the more you could potentially lose when multiple liens or additional liens get filed against the property.
Gotcha. So then your recommendation would be to, if you're in Clark County, we'll put the link down below for where to go to get this free service, right? But if you don't live in Clark County, do you recommend using this company or something like it? And how do we know which one of those are legitimate?
Yeah, Home Title Lock's been around for a long time, so I think that they're pretty legitimate. They also have the, the guy that's like the Catch Me If You Can guy who used to do house dealing as their representative. So I think they're pretty legitimate.
How I feel about that.
It's at least, something that people can take a look at. But if you have access to a site where you can, like Clark County's, where you can log in and take a look at anything that's been filed, maybe just do a check, every now and then, that's probably enough. But for anybody who might want peace of mind, there are resources out there where they can, potentially subscribe to those things and have somebody else watch the title. And there's, in our area, it's also a little bit different where back east, where he did take out multiple liens all at the same time from multiple lenders, that wouldn't actually happen here because we record immediately once we actually record before the transaction's complete. Whereas there are some states back east that still, and back then there used to be a lot of them where it could take months to record a lien. So you could actually have a lot happen before you would even be able to see that. And that, I think, is still prevalent in some states where it can take up to a few months to be able to record a lien against the property. So I don't know how good that's going to be, but in the Western states, we typically record the liens immediately as we're finishing the transaction. And so this would be something where, again, if they're filing a quitclaim deed, if they're filing a satisfaction of mortgage, those would show up immediately.
Okay. So locally, we're pretty protected, but, share this with your friends and family. And, if you're ever just curious, I can also call my local title company and, just ask them to look real quick at it. And they're happy to do that as a service for me. So let us know how we can help you and click the link below for any more information. And Jerry, as always, I really appreciate all the great knowledge that you share with us. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.